Election night in America, and here in Connecticut, we've got you covered on all the local races. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Sanchez. From candidates to key issues, we're following it all. Polls just closed an hour ago, and in Hartford, voters elected a new leader. Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorse is at Duncan Park, where the AP has announced Arunan Arulampalam as the next mayor of the capital city. There he is. Emma. All right, we're going to actually have to come back to Emma right now. It looks like the new mayor of Hartford, Mayor Arulampalam, was just at the podium. Emma is listening in to what he had to say and will report back to us in just a few moments. To get a look at the latest live race calls, text the word results to 860-527-6161. You can also find the voter guide and our coverage on the free Fox 61 News app and on our website, fox61.com. Continuing our live team coverage, though, we're in Bridgeport tonight. Voters showed up in droves for the mayoral race there, and perhaps because of how much attention the race has gotten. It was the center of a confusing court battle and has raised questions surrounding election security. We're getting right out to Fox 61's Matt Karen. He's live in Bridgeport with an update for us now. Matt.
Well, from the capital city to the state's most populous city, welcome to Bridgeport. We are live here at the Cape Verdean Club. This is where candidate for Mayor John Gomes is going to be holding what he hopes will be a victory party here tonight. You can see behind me the stage is quite literally set, and the results are slowly coming in. Keep in mind as we read you these results, these are still the in-person tabulator machine results. We haven't gotten to those highly controversial absentee ballots, but as of right now, John Gomes is leading incumbent Democratic Mayor Joe Ganim 44 to 39%, with about 27% of the precincts reporting. The interesting thing to note here, numbers just in from the Secretary of the State's office, voter turnout here in Bridgeport, only 16%. Think about that, 16%, and that's with all the attention and scrutiny that this race has been under. What does that tell you? Well, a lot of people would infer that it means voters feel disenfranchised, like their vote may not even matter. We're going to be closely watching these numbers, specifically those absentee ballot numbers as they come in. They're usually the last ones tallied. We're told that everybody is surrounding the absentee ballot bags at the Margaret Morton Government Center as we speak, including Peggy Reeves, that interim election watchdog that was appointed by the Secretary of the State's office. And we want to get right over now to my colleague, Jake Garcia, who is live over at Mayor Joe Ganim's headquarters. Jake, how are things over there?
Supporters of Mayor Joe Ganim starting to fill the dining room here at Gather Tap and Tavern, just a block away from the government center or so. Mayor Ganim looking to secure a victory tonight, even after that judge's ruling calling for a new primary. Now, Mayor's message leading up to Election Day was to people to get out and vote. And he's reiterated that message even this morning during Election Day. But it still remains to be seen whether these results will actually count, depending that legal battle. Now, again, I'm still hoping for a victory tonight and hoping that he doesn't have to jump through more hurdles, but that all depends on the state Supreme Court as of now. But the race still too close to call. We're live here in Bridgeport. Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Jake. More election troubles down in Bridgeport. A pair of Bridgeport city councilors were arrested at polling locations this afternoon. Police say Samia Solomon and Maria Perea were both arrested in two separate incidents. Police say Solomon was causing a disturbance at a polling location, which Perea is accused of assaulting a 70-year-old woman at the polls. Both women have been charged. We're following that closely for you tonight. And in Connecticut's smallest city, an interesting race shaping up tonight. Derby's current mayor on the ballot is a petitioning candidate after narrowly losing the primary to a candidate facing charges in connection to the January 6th Capitol riot. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner is live in Derby. What's happening there, DeAndrea?
Hi, Sarah. Well, votes are still coming in here in Derby. They have not decided who the mayor of this town is, whether it's the incumbent mayor or a new mayor who may be a Democrat or Republican that's on the ballot. But I did speak to a few folks who voted here today, and everyone that I spoke to said that they are looking for something new, something fresh. They said there are a lot of issues in this city that needs to be looked over, so they're hoping for some type of change coming up. But again, their elections results are still pouring in. I actually just left outside of one of the polling places. The polling workers, they were working until about 8:45, 8:50 tonight, trying to get those results in. And I also spoke to the town clerk today. He tells me that at least 41% of voters turned out today. That is at least 1% higher than 2 years ago. And again, like I said, I spoke to some voters who said that they are really hoping for a change here in Derby. And as we continue to get those numbers in, we'll update you here on air and online. For now in Derby, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, DeAndrea. And we know Arunan Arulampalam is now the capital city's next mayor. We saw a celebration live just moments ago. We missed it for just a couple minutes. Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst, though, she didn't miss it. She's at Duncan Park and joins us live with the very latest. Emma, I heard you spoke with the new mayor.
Yes, Sarah, we'll have more from him coming up at 10 o'clock, but it is much livelier than the last time I spoke with you all just an hour ago. Polls have been closed for just an hour, but already calling this race for Democratic nominee Arunan Arulampalam. His main message tonight, he's excited about the future of the city of Hartford. He talked about crime, education, housing, the main issues he campaigned on, and thanked all of the supporters for being here at Duncan Park tonight. Now, Arulampalam won that Democratic nomination back in September during the primary, and he's been endorsed by the current mayor, Luke Bronin, as well as Governor Lamont, Senator Blumenthal, and other state officials. I asked him if he feels like that strong Democratic support went a long way in this race, and he told me yes. He says it shows a united front, and he's excited to show everyone that the state of Connecticut really has a stake in how well the capital city is doing. As I said, we'll have that sound from him. You'll hear from the next mayor of Hartford, Arunan Arulampalam, coming up at 10 o'clock tonight. For now, live in Hartford, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Emma. And with the 169 municipal races, there was everything from mayoral slates to Board of Educators or education seats tonight. Let's break down a handful of those key races for you. In Connecticut's second largest city, two-term incumbent Mayor Justin Elicker has beat out challenger Tom Goldenberg. He says he's looking forward to continuing the progress he's been making on development out of the pandemic. Over in West Haven now, three-term Mayor Nancy Rossi is retiring. Many are hopeful a change in leadership this election will help the city leave its COVID-19 fund controversy behind. Democratic Deputy Speaker of the State House, Dorinda Borer, is facing Republican Barry Lee Cohen, who lost to Rossi by only 32 votes in 2021. Whoever becomes the next mayor will be taking on the economically challenged city. The city's still under intense state oversight. The state took over after former state representative Michael DeMassa stole over $1 million of federal funding during the pandemic. And beyond that, the state flagged West Haven for having little economic activity over the last few years. Republican Mayor William Dickinson Jr. is stepping down after 40 straight years, and there were two new names on Wallingford ballots today. Republican Vincent Cervoni is popular in town, serving on the town council since 2010. But Democratic nominee Riley O'Connell came up just 400 votes short of unseating the long-standing mayor 2 years ago. He says people respond to his candidacy because they're looking for innovation without losing the spirit of the town. Cervoni says he only wants to work on the outdated infrastructure in town, like the technology. There's a lot of redevelopment going on in East Hartford, directly influencing the mayoral slate there. The current mayor, Mike Walsh, announced earlier this year he wouldn't run for re-election so he could focus on the redevelopment of the Founders Plaza region. His chief of staff, Connor Martin, is the Democratic nominee, and Republicans nominated newcomer Salima Davis. Both candidates are focusing on the redevelopment in the Silver Lane corridor. Martin has experience with projects from the mayor's office, and Davis is a longtime volunteer in beautification efforts from Brooklyn to East Hartford. Another long-standing legacy is leaving the mayoral seat in Waterbury here. Democratic Mayor Neil O'Leary, the city's former police chief, has taken himself out of the race after 12 years of leadership. A matchup between popular local politician and a political newcomer. The Democratic nominee, Paul Pernaruski, is the head of the Board of Aldermen. Challenging him is Republican Don Mariano. She owns, and operates the family-owned funeral home and would be the first woman ever elected mayor in Waterbury. A rematch is back on people's ballots in Danbury. Back in 2021, Republican Dean Esposito just barely beat Democratic Roberto Alves to win his first term as mayor, and he's hoping to hang on to the role today. And the race is getting a lot of interest, a record when it comes to combined campaign donations. The two raised $345,000 by June 30th. For voters, the decision is coming down to their handling of key issues, overwhelming school enrollment and education needs, plus efforts to clean up and bring new business to the downtown area. To get a look at the latest live updates for these races and much more, text the word results to 860-527-6161. You can also find the voter guide and our coverage on the free Fox 61 News app and our website, fox61.com. We're continuing our live team coverage across the state from Bridgeport to Derby to the capital city. We're taking you right to the candidates as races are called and hear from the capital city's next mayor, Arunan Arulampalam. So be sure to stay with us. We'll be right back at 10 o'clock tonight on air and online with all your election updates. I'm Sarah Sanchez. Have a good night.